Morning, boys and girls. I hope you had a good day yesterday. Please do check in with me and just make sure that you say that you're present. I saw a few people who had uploaded, or I spoke to a few parents, so I knew, but some people I haven't heard from yesterday, so please just make sure you let me know. Today we're moving on, and I'd like you to carry on with your second journal response. I saw some really good examples yesterday. There's 2 more links to articles on the schedule page, which you can have a read, and then you can pick one again to write a response to, using 3 of the prompts. And pay attention to which ones you think fit specifically well to nonfiction text, just so that you don't have to be answering a question that doesn't make sense 100%. If you have a different question that you want to ask yourself or answer, or you have your reader's notebook that has those prompts in the back, feel free to do something different as well. Today, I would like us to do some calculating. The second thing I'd like you to do is some calculating for your germination experiment on how many millimeters each bean grew a day. So I'm just going to show you how to do that, because it's actually not tricky math, but it's tricky moving around all those numbers and handling that data to figure it out. So I've got an example that I can show you here. I'll just share my screen with you. Here we go. All right, so here you should see some data that was collected, just like what you've got, and it's my second seed type, and I filled in for each day what my observations were. So I've got my seed type in the light and in the dark, and then I've just recorded the numbers according to how many seeds germinated and what I measured them to be each day. Now this data can look very confusing. It's hard for us to figure out where some of those growth spurts were. It's hard to figure out which was growing the fastest from this. So what we can do is we can actually interpret these results. And I've got here a little example of how. So you're setting up a table just the same as above. So you've got your light and your dark columns, and you've got your days. Now what I've done is I've separated the light into 3, which will represent your 3 beans in that light cup. So bean 1, bean 2, bean 3. And then I've done the same for the dark to represent the 3 beans in the cup that you had in the dark. Bean 1, bean 2, bean 3. And then I've looked up at my results. So on day 1, nothing was happening. That's easy. It stays 0 across the board. On day 2, I had some changes. I had, nope, that's day 3. I had 1 of my beans in the light column germinate 3 millimeters. So I've gone down to day 2, and I've had 1, and it's grown 3 millimeters. So I've put that there. Then I've looked at day 2, the dark side, and I see that 2 of my beans have germinated. So I've got 4. My first bean was 4, so I've put 4 in this box. And then I've also got 3. My second bean has grown 3 millimeters. And these are its roots that you've been measuring. Now I'm going to look at the next bit, and this is where some math comes in. I'm trying to figure out difference between days. So if I'm doing difference, I automatically know that it's subtraction I'm going to be doing. So I'm trying to figure out how much they've grown each day. On day 3, I see that the length of the roots for my first bean is 5 millimeters now. So between day 2 and day 3, I want to figure out the difference. So the math that I'm going to do is 5 minus 3 to figure out how much between day 2 and 3 it's grown. So 5 minus 3, quick maths. And then I filled it in my column for bean 1 here. 5 minus 3, 2. So I'm going to know that on day 3 it grew 2 millimeters. And then my second seed germinated in there, and it's 3. So I, again, go and fill in 3. And then for my dark, I have to do the same. On day 2, I have 2 seeds that were germinated. On day 3, I've got 3. So I'm first going to look at the first seed. It grew 5 millimeters, and the day before, it had grown 4 millimeters. So I need to figure out the difference between that day, 5 minus 4, and it's grown 1 millimeter, so slow on that day. And then the second seed, I look at day 2, and I'm looking at that second seed in that box, and it was 3 on day 2, and it had grown to 5 on day 3. So 5 minus 3 equals 2. And then my third seed had started that day, and it had grown 3. So basically, what you have to do is for each day, you're comparing that day with the day before it. And to do the math for figuring out the difference between the 2 days, you're subtracting. If you want, you can go onto the shared drive, and I'll put this up for you, and you can use this table if you don't think you're okay to draw it all out. Or if you know how to make a table like this on the computer, you can do that as well. But if you need to just erase my results and fill in your own from your own data, then you can do that as well. So I'll put this up there just for an example so that you can see, and if you want to use the table. If you want to draw out your own table, if you're doing it in a hand draw way, it will probably take up about half a page, so that you have enough space to fill in. But if you want to do it in this computer way, that's absolutely fine too. And you have music at 10:50. So Mr. Shine will be seeing you then. And let me know how you get on with this. If you need any help, I certainly can. And if you need any help with your readers' responses or you want some advice, just let me know. And I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.